it's a future-oriented brands which would tend to a lot of life-saving skills. It's called Rescue Rangers. So I'm Tanvi Gupta and I'm a final year CD student at IID. When I was looking for an inspiration and the topic that would be my major design project, a lot of thoughts ran through my mind. Being a UX UI designer, I was looking at user problems that are around me and that I can relate to. Few of them being parent and kid relationship problems, like how we can in a busy lifestyle in an urban setting, how that parent and child relationship can be more communicative and more tending. But then one of the story, like a memory that came back to me from school. During my school time, I had this one session, only one, but I remember it very clearly when my PE class was turned into a life-saving skill class. It was mostly theoretical, and yet that theoretical class was so interactive and energetic, and I was actually learning something new that I could apply in real life. Like whenever these movie series or movies or series, these CPR or maybe life-saving skills are being performed by like foreigners and they're actually saving someone, those thoughts are running in my mind. Can I actually save someone? So that was my inspiration, and that's when I took this as my topic and I took it forward in MDP. The outcome, it's called Rescue Rangers. It's a social awareness and social initiative, which is basically for all life-saving. It's a future-oriented brands which would tend to a lot of life-saving skills, which is why the name Rescue Rangers come in place. It's like you have the power to save life and you can save people. But in my project, I'm actually tending to CPR only. So I'm niched it down to a particular topic, but the name is Rescue Rangers. So initially when I was looking through life-saving skills, there are a lot of life-saving skills, from first aid to burning and to Heimlich maneuver, which is choking, and CPR. So there were a lot of different options, but CPR is something that comes in play because today in India there's a rising cases of cardiac arrest and accidents. If you would know, a lot of people in a family are heart patients. So in India, being the world's most populated country right now and have the rising cases of cardiac arrest, I thought CPR would actually be very prevalent and very important to actually pursue. And other life-saving skills like first aid and burning, these are things that we actually know and have certain idea about, but CPR is very alien to us. So I wanted to take that first in my project. The MDP started with research, which is obviously I went into secondary research. During my research paper as well, my idea was very clear. I went into research paper also looking at articles, looking at research papers, and a lot of things citing from foreign countries and developed countries. Very few certain articles were there from Indian context, and mainly suggesting that in India, these surveys that were conducted by Librate, an Indian healthcare company, suggested that 98% of our population is not educated in CPR or life-saving skills, which is very concerning. I also did a lot of user interviews and surveys. In India, at least doctors are trained in life-saving skills and especially CPR during their medical education, but it's not mandated for every doctor to take this forward. So it was very hard to actually find doctors who are willing to interview with me and share their thoughts about CPR. Actually, only 4 to 5 doctors, medical professionals had come forward and talked with me. So I had to rely on surveys because they're even adding to that, even their profession is very busy. So they couldn't take much time with me. So I had to rely on surveys, and the way I designed a survey was to make them be in the shoes of someone who would actually train people. And actually that hypothetical situation I created in my survey brought in a lot of rich insights, qualitative insights, and made me understand that I need to design something that is first catering to young teenagers, adults who have the energy to actually perform CPR, because you need to kneel down and you need to perform CPR at a particular rhythm and with a certain energy level. Through this survey from doctors like surgeons, plastic surgeons, medical students, a lot of variety of doctors had actually approached through my survey, and a collective insight was that I need to target young teenagers. So that was my niche target audience, and along with that I also understood that apps or maybe digital surfaces are not at all the answer for CPR. Being a life-saving skill, being something that has a life and death situation, it is very crucial for us to have an hands-on training about CPR. So the outcome that I decided on was to make a booklet. During a training session, you will be able to read through it. You will be able to understand the words in a much easier language. You will be able to understand all the steps which are already predefined. There's nothing, actually CPR is a very 6 simple step process. So those 6 simple steps are very easily explained to you in a very detailed manner, and it's meant to be interactive. So certain questions back and forth going on with the trainer. So it's that booklet itself is like something that you can keep with yourself for forever. Along with the booklet, I decided to bring in some posters as well, because not always if you want to perform CPR, you'll have to go through the pages. So a poster which summarizes all the steps would be much better and much beneficial if it's pasted on the walls of your rooms, or maybe in companies and in office spaces. These posters will actually quickly bring that recap you about CPR and make you understand what you need to do. Along with this booklet, I also understood that since not many people know about CPR, people would question it if you actually perform it in public. So how to tackle that? So the validity part was missing, and I wanted to validate that you are actually trained. So along with this booklet and posters, a validity card also comes along that suggests that you are trained in CPR and you can perform CPR on someone who is in need of it. Yeah, so these posters and all these things come together like a system that helps you be aware about CPR, be trained in CPR, and actually take that forward and make other people also come in and get trained. Popular belief that UX UI is basically apps and digital mediums. If you actually understand the word UX, which is user experience, it comes in everyday life. It's around us. User experiences in everything, like a book, a poster, a film, anything can be user experience. So being a UX UI enthusiast, I didn't need to limit myself in digital mediums. I could always explore other print mediums as well. And considering CPR, where I myself got CPR trained first, and actually performing something on hand on a dummy and performing CPR made me understand the connection that I need to feel with someone while getting trained, with the dummy, that connectivity, that empathy. That is something that you cannot actually connect through a digital medium. An app can never fulfill that human connection. An app can never create that sort of empathy for somebody who is dying and need your help. So my approach in MDP was to eliminate digital mediums and create something that is handy and that actually makes you want to train in person. So in-person training in life-saving skills is very important. You cannot, being a life and death situation, you cannot just get trained on an app and call yourself certified. So the importance of getting in-person training was again and again justified by doctors, by medical professionals, and even the organization I got myself trained from, which is Value Life Organization, situated in Dwarka. Everybody promotes in-person CPR training, and digital mediums are something that can help you recap it or maybe summarize everything for you. But when you're going for the first time and when you want to get trained, in-person training is always the answer. And for that, a booklet, a poster, and everything that I've already mentioned is what was feasible, was viable and desirable for the user group that I'm tending to. Approach of this brand would be to put it in public spaces like concerts, festival gatherings and everything. Maybe hospitals could pitch in and come in forward and create these camps, because trainers are mainly medical professionals who are already trained. So it can be government-led, it can be medical, all the medical associations could come together and this brand could be taken up pan-India in a much forceful way. This is what the thought is as a social movement, how rescue rangers could become a part of every household, where every family has at least one member that knows CPR and could help save someone's life. Because it's only about the 5 to 10 minutes when the heart stops working. Those 5-10 minutes are very crucial, and until the ambulance arrives like very late. So people around the victim, the strangers or maybe the family itself, are the only people who actually can save someone. So learning CPR is very crucial, and if you get a chance, please learn CPR. It's very crucial for us all to know this skill. It took me a week actually to find that perfect brand name, because CPR is something, as already stated, alien to us. You have never heard it, or maybe heard it, but you have a lot of misconceptions or stereotypes around it. So I wanted people to actually understand that you don't always need to rely on doctors to save your life. You have the power in your hands. You have the power to actually get yourself trained and save your loved ones and strangers who might need that help. So Rescue Rangers was the name that I came up with, being a professional title that you get. When you get trained, you can call yourself, I'm a rescue ranger and I can help someone save a life. So that's the power that you feel through that name. That name needs to bring that aura of having that power inside you. So even the tagline, power to save lives, is as a brand brings in that curiosity and that fire inside you to save someone. So that is why I chose the name Rescue Rangers. And also in business perspective, in the future we can cater to other life-saving skills as well, and CPR and Heimlich maneuver, first aid, everything can come under Rescue Rangers. So it doesn't have to always be in context of CPR. It has to be in a much bigger perspective. So I was looking at everything around in Indian context and even in developed countries, how CPR is being currently tended to. Currently, all the medical websites and like CPR India and Value Life organization as well, they have these medical colors repeatedly being used, that is red and that is green, and they have these singular colors being used. CPR is mainly addressed through red color, being the color of our heart and life. So I didn't want to actually take up that. I wanted to actually make it more attractive and bring that curiosity in you when you look at the brand itself. So, and since the brand is meant to be positioned in public spaces, in the streets of India, in spaces with high footfalls, where training camps would be set up for people to actually come in and get trained immediately, I wanted to take up colors that actually is eye-catchy from a distance. So colors like red, blue and yellow in a combination, these primary colors were actually, and if used in a certain proportion, brought in that attentiveness and an eye-catchiness to it, the brand itself, and actually also creating that superhero vibe. So I looked up at a lot of color combinations, and these three colors being the primary colors and also being distinctive for whatever is being currently been done in the industry, I chose these colors along with the type. So the type is Anek Latin. I was initially planning to make this outcome vernacular in Hindi and Marathi and other languages as well, but due to time constraints, I focused first in Latin itself, which is English. So I took Anek Latin because it brought in the diversity of all the languages that I wanted. It has all the fonts for it. Also, being a heading font, it has a very bold structure. So from a far distance, that heading font will bring in that attention. So a lot of decision like these went in, and finally I decided on the brand to have that superhero and that boldness that I actually wanted for CPR. And the reason for following this structure was to make it fun, not make it medical or boring, or maybe something that is gloomy and makes you realize that it is something of death. So I wanted for people to realize it is serious, yet it can be fun, it can be interesting to learn, it can be easy to retain. So the decisions were made according to this realization. So a lot of ideas came to my mind about what books I could create, or maybe what social media platform I could create, branding. So many ideas came to me, and I was actually laying myself very thin. I had so many ideas, but in very different directions. So my mentor, Mr. Gagan Nare, helped me deduce what is actually important, what is actually simple and easy to understand and can be done. And it doesn't actually confuse the users a lot. It has to be in a very systematic way, as I already said. I was confused with what I was doing wrong. So there was this bump where I was not understanding how to make this fun. So making it fun is also very hard. You cannot just put colorful colors and images and make it fun. It has to be interactive. The interactive part was missing. The information has to be designed in a certain way. So initially, when I had done so much research and I had such a good understanding about CPR, when I went first in to make my outcome, the level of content that I was putting up was very basic. So because I had a good notion about CPR in my own head, the content I was placing was very basic in the necessary parts only, because I had already gotten rid of all the stereotypes and misconceptions of my own that were in my head. But later on, when I did the user testing, people were not actually were able to get into the depth of CPR. They were like, I understand what it is, but what about it? Like how to actually perform it. And that's when I understand that the information design, which is very crucial, I was missing on a larger scale. So to create that content, and it might seem very easy, but that content has to be layered in so many ways that you need people to understand what it is, then what is not to be done. So one of the major thing was I was actually telling them what is right, but I was not telling them what is not right. So what to not to do was also a major thing that needs to be covered, so that people don't actually go on doing things on their own. So information designing, I had to refer books again. I was going through articles about information design, how I can make it more fun, how I can make it more interesting and in a flow. So I think that was the major bump, and better late than never, I understood it and I corrected my mistake, and the outcome is much better than I was actually designing initially. I have reduced it down and made it more layman friendly and people that would actually like. And the brand name itself, Rescue Ranger, makes you feel that you have the power to save life, and doesn't actually make you feel that it's life or heart or something like that. So it's meant to create that emotion in you. I like to explain it with an example. So there's something called bystander CPR. So it's different from what is actually you actually see in movies. So in movies, you would actually see people giving mouth-to-mouth ventilation to people, which is not exactly needed. Right now, it has also been niched down to people only giving chest push-ups. So you don't need to actually give those mouth-to-mouth ventilation due to post-COVID, people having hygiene, being very hygiene-oriented. That not everybody wants to get in contact with someone. So now there is something called bystander CPR. Now, the word itself is very heavy, bystander CPR. But the meaning is very simple. You just need to push on somebody's chest and that's it. So I have never used bystander CPR in the booklet. Bystander is nowhere mentioned, but I have actually given the meaning to it. I have mentioned that all you need to do is push on the chest of someone who needs the help. So it's as simple as that. So certain words like this, mouth-to-mouth ventilation, bystander CPR, or maybe where the location is, where the positioning is. So the words are not actually mentioned, but the illustrations that I've made and the way they're labeled, it helps you understand it much quicker and in a much fun manner. And the booklet being an aid to the training, when you actually go and get trained, the trainer would actually give you the instructions again. So it's an easy way to understand it, and you will understand it very quickly. So those medical terms are actually not actually retainable. If you know CPR is cardiovascular pulmonary resuscitation. And nobody in a daily life would actually remember this full form. People always refer to CPR as CPR, that is it. So medical terms, if deduced in a much easier manner, is easier to learn and understand and retainable over a longer period of time. And I'm saying this not on my own realization, but adding to that, when I went back to the trainers that I got trained with, they actually liked this approach more. And right now they're willing to take this booklet forward, and they want to take this forward in schools as well. So the organization is planning to introduce schools with CPR training, and how school students can also learn these things while and when they get graduated. They would want school students to know CPR. So I think the manner in which I approach my booklet is validated from the professionals as well. So it's not always about mentioning those hard and medical terms. So I had actually planned coming into design. So my initial plan after completing my 12th grade was to go ahead with business management or economics. And but something during the COVID time, something clicked inside me, and I was like, I don't want to take this forward. I want to actually do something creative, which was my hobby. I had always been creative and I always wanted to do design and painting, but it never actually clicked me. And sometime in COVID, it happened to me, and I wanted to take this forward. I was looking around what colleges in India provide such courses, and luckily my sister, who had studied in ISBF, the sister college of IIT, introduced me with IIT, and she said, go look at the website, and if it intrigues you, why not get an admission? I looked through the courses, and communication design was one of them, which made me very interested. And the program itself was very intriguing, and the way they taught it. But to convince me, I looked through the YouTube videos, and because it was COVID time, I couldn't actually visit the campus. So YouTube videos helped me understand what the program was about, what the college life is about, and I found it different from what other colleges had been providing. A plus point was the Kingston degree as well. So considering all these nuances, I decided to take admission in IID, and thankfully I did get it. Didn't expect it, such a roller coaster ride, honestly. I was expecting a nice, happy college life, but obviously design has its own ups and downs. So the juries and the pressure that you feel actually were a surprise to me in the first year, but obviously you get used to it down the line. And I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot as a person. So when I said I wanted to do business and economics, I was very studious, and the way I had actually been thinking was very different from what I am right now. I hadn't been so observant and so into empathy and user experiences and how people actually think. I actually, now looking back, I actually think I was like a robot. Like schools producing these robots who are just studious and doing office work. And right now I feel more free. You know, I feel that I can think and I can observe things and I can make my own layers of realizations about it and actually solve problems in a much easy manner, or maybe like my mind feels a lot free. I don't know how to express this, but throughout this 4 years journey and getting into UX/UI has made me a different person, honestly. And obviously there's a lot of ups and downs professionally, personally. Communicated with a lot of people, had laughs with a lot of people, loved, lost, found my family in IID. Also the mentors, like it's like very nice to have people and teachers who you can actually go and talk like whatever you want. It's so free and it's so easy to communicate with my mentors. So I like the connection, and actually I never thought, but I will actually miss coming to college every day and talking to everyone just randomly and whatever is coming to my mind, having that free space. So I think, yeah, it was a good journey overall.